Welcome to a rainy day in the Wrangell, Alaska shipyards. Behind me is the Alaskan Gypsy, our steel triple-masted schooner. It's about 80 feet long, and we're saving it from sinking in the harbor in Ketchikan from severe electrolysis. I've got a shelter tent built around it now. Just finished that up so that we're able to actually work outside on the hull in the rain for once. This is the first rainy day of welding, and check that out. Whole little house under there. Only did half of the boat, and kind of debating on whether to do the second half now or wait and take the first side all the way through to finish and then move the shelter over. But anyhow, check it out. We got a nice space to work out of the rain on an otherwise very rainy day here in Wrangell, Alaska shipyard. But I got my dad just showed up yesterday. He's out there welding. I'm working inside and struggling with the reality of, I think I have to demolish the bathroom, what remains of it, or the head as they call them on boats for you sailor folks. And so that's where I'm at, working inside today, keeping things lined up for the old man so he can weld. Here we go. So that's where he's welding down in there, grinding right now. But let me close the door. Kind of noisy. Usually I'm the only one making a racket on this boat, but so he's welding away on the electrolysis. I'm keeping an eye on it, making sure we're not getting near any flammables, and helping him get all situated and comfortable in his process. And meanwhile, I don't know if you've seen this in another video, but I found some pretty good holes in the hull down in this wastewater compartment. You can see some light coming through there. Those are holes in the boat, folks. And they're bad enough to where I think I'm going to replace some plate in that area. There's a bit of each one of those longitudinal stringers has been catching water for a while and producing some pretty significant rust. And I think it might be best to just fully address the issue, which means getting access to it, which unfortunately means basically this guy down there grinding away. It means tearing the rest of the bathroom apart. I already got the toilet and the bench, and I had the hot water heater out. Had to get into weld. There was some pretty significant welding I had to do in here along the chine of the boat, so I had to excavate to get it all that. I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to tear everything out of the bathroom, like the vanity and this giant cupboard thing, but I don't know. I think I just got to do it. It's not the worst thing. This area where the head was here had been, there was an anti-siphon valve up here on the wall, and every once in a while it would get plugged, and basically sewage would run down this plywood and onto the water heater, which used to sit over there. And this plywood here has been soaked with sewage for years, to include the plywood down here. And honestly, that is the problem that was going on down there in that hold too. So probably replacing that plywood is not a bad idea. This would be a long-term fix. I think I could get by without replacing plate, because there's just a few little thin spots, but if you put it all together, it's probably good to tear the floor out of the bathroom. It would be good to replace the plate in that area, and this giant cupboard thing here, honestly, it's huge, which is kind of really amazing and nice, but also, like, how do you use storage space that is literally as long as your whole arm efficiently? I think it's a nice idea, and honestly, it would be like good pantry or something, but for a bathroom cupboard, I just don't know that it's really that good a use of space, to be honest, and it's a lot of space. I think that maybe a closet from the master suite over there, master bedroom, that could come into this space might be better, or maybe the vanity moves over to that area there where it is not walking area anyhow. You can't really walk up on top of this. I don't know. It's all a little bit confusing. I don't think it would be a bad thing to go ahead and completely rethink this entire head bathroom scenario. I got to put the toilet back somewhere. I ripped the bench out that it was on. It's all complicated even more by the fact that in here, this is a little confusing. This is the door to the bathroom. When you open it, it covers the door entrance to the shower. And then behind the shower, there was this whole other room that was meant to be a sauna or something. It's all torn apart now because I had to get in there for welding, and I've been using it for temporary storage. But that space was never really used by anybody on board this boat. But it's quite a bit of room. So I got a lot to think about this area, and I think coming at it from a blank slate wouldn't be that bad of an idea. I'd be curious what you think. If you got any ideas for me on how I could set up this bathroom in a way that would make good use of this space but offer the functionality it needs. So today though, I think I'm just going to start demoing this whole thing. Kind of a bummer. Feels like a big step backwards. But one thing about it is, once that plate is in the bottom, fixing the holes, we don't need this bathroom to be functional before we can get out of here. So I feel like just do it, tear it out. We can leave the shipyard without a bathroom. I've used the bucket on deck for years, and quite honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. We can use the kitchen sink, the galley sink, for all you sailors out there, for brushing our teeth and whatever. We don't need a vanity sink, and I think we might just live without one for a while. And then we'll have time to imagine how we want to do it, what's going to work best for us, and maybe I'll be able to reclaim some cool materials from an old cannery or something to build it back in some really creative style. So goodbye big beautiful cabinets with huge amounts of storage. I mean, look at that. Most people on a sailboat could hardly dream of so much storage, so much shelves behind big doors. It's amazing. And I'm about to tear it out. So there we go. This saw too. Nice big storage area. But luckily on board the Alaskan Gypsy we have so much storage space that I don't actually need this space. Really. I mean, of course it's nice to have, but it's not like we can't get by without it for as long as we need to. So there's my letter to my dog about my emotions around this. So bear with me. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I'll probably give you some time-lapse action of me tearing this nice little bathroom apart. And we'll see. Someday there'll be a video about rebuilding the head on the Alaskan Gypsy. And maybe we'll have gotten a lot of great ideas from you viewers. And maybe we'll rethink entirely how this room is set up to really make use. I think the creative challenge is how to use that area with the sloped floor under it. And then how to make use of this crazy sauna room thing. Maybe we make it into a sauna. Maybe we make it into a storage closet. Maybe we completely restructure this bathroom and put the vanity over there under the window. Maybe the vanity moves from here over there, and then maybe the toilet goes here where the vanity is. Or the toilet could go in over there and give up the sauna idea. I love the sauna idea though. That'd be amazing. Can you imagine having a sauna on your boat? The wiring is running there for an electric sauna, and I think that'd be incredible, but it needs some sort of a door, obviously, and they never figured that out, so it's kind of an incomplete idea. But for now, demo and weld. Make the boat seaworthy. Worry about these details later. Thanks for sticking with me. Bon voyage. I'm gonna do something a little different on this video. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna let these time lapses play a little bit slower than I often do. Usually I try and shorten them up so that you don't get bored watching, but I figure some of you might like watching them a little bit more detailed or slower. So let me know what you think. I have all the cupboard doors off, and I think that maybe what I'll do next is take all these shelves out. Just trying to decide. I kind of like having the vanity in here for a little work table while I'm working, so maybe I'll not do that right away. Pull all these shelves out. That'll take a little bit. They're nailed in. Looks like probably air nailed, trim nailed in, so kind of see how much pounding and beating it takes to get them out. And then once those are all out, I think I'll have to disconnect the vanity and pull that table out and stuff. So here we go. Got all the shelves out, and this one is nice and loose. That doesn't look like it's going to cause me any problem, but this face frame thing over here is really stuck, and they glued this stuff, which worked pretty good. As always, impressed by the glues. I'm starting to wonder if this one's like screwed in from the other side or what. Man, it is. Let's get some light on this thing. That thing, I don't see any sort of attachments on it, but it is not moving. Looks to me like maybe they got some trim head screws in there. There's definitely must be some screws going through that wall. I think that must be a 3/4 plywood wall, and that face frame is screwed on there, but not really sure what to do about that. Probably pick those screws out. I probably don't want to destroy that wall. This wall here, it's got the door attached to it. It's probably just some nice 3/4 plywood. Camera keeps quitting on me. Anyhow, I'm just trying to investigate what this wall is. I think it's just a 3/4 plywood wall for the head entrance. So I probably don't want to mess with that too much. Well, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how deep I'll have to go here. All this stuff is coming out though. I think I'll pick these screws out, or the filler out, and see if I can't. Hopefully these are just trim head screws in here and I can back those out and get this face frame off. Or I could probably just leave it there. It's not really causing me any problem. I need to get this thing out of the way and that thing out of the way. There's where we're at. Well, it wasn't screws like I thought it was. It was just glue and nails. Air nails or whatever. But they had glued it too, so when it came off, it peeled the veneer right off the wall. Kind of a bummer. Oh well. And I see that this whole wall now is, I had unscrewed that thing up there, thinking that might be part of the cabinet stuff, which it doesn't seem like it is. It's more just part of this wall, which I guess is part of the cabinet. But so this one's coming off easy. Got that one off. Ripped my plywood in half with it. Well, ripped the veneer off it. Got the little toe frame off. That one's coming off. So we're almost done in here. There we go. That one is ready to come off. Oh. Broke the tile. Goodbye tile. Goodbye flowery violet tile. The demo continues. Out comes the vanity. I kind of was hoping maybe I wouldn't have to destroy that thing, but turns out, see that black line? This thing had a crack in it. And oops. So right there, little crack. I don't know, it could probably get epoxied back together and potentially reused. Kind of a nice piece of wood. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like maple or something probably. It's like a blonde hardwood. So I don't know what I'll do with it, but for now it's coming out. And I wasn't going to be able to get it out of there without significant destruction because the tile had it sort of pinned in there. So got the sink out, counter out. The hot water heater is just sitting there, so the demo continues. The big wall is gone. Feels pretty different in here, obviously. Making space. I got a little issue here. My temporary install of my water heater is sitting on this little piece of wood. The bottom of the vanity is supporting the hot water heater where it sits, and it's got 20 gallons of water in it, so it's pretty heavy. And I'm sure I can get in there and block it up, but it's a little bit of a nuisance. Something this gave me cause to wonder about doing all this. How do they decide what angle to put the counters at and the cupboards at, and what is level on a boat? I wonder if they put the boat in the water and then started installing the cabinetry and stuff, or just kind of wonder how you decide where you think you obviously want your counters to be close to level, but how do they do that when they build a new boat? Maybe they wait, or do they just take a good guess at it and then decide? I don't know. But I'm kind of grateful that there's going to be these lines on the walls. At least I'll be able to check. I'm curious to grab a level and see if they're pretty close to level. But then it's also when they block the boat up, how close to level did they get me? Maybe it's based off the keel as you try and achieve level with your keel, because basically the boat's sitting flat on the ground. So if you had your keel line level, then you'd pull up from there maybe. I don't know. Anyhow, that's where we're at. Got quite a mess going in here. Turned a nice vanity cupboard into a pile of junk. And this is the plywood that I'm eventually going to want to cut out so that I can get in there and replace a section of the hull plating that's about in there. About like that. So having this all gone will give me access to that area. That's the plan, but I think it's time for a cup of tea. Been at this for a couple hours and kind of ready to take a break for a little bit. Now, instead of a bathroom and a vanity, we have a giant mess. Where there was once a vanity and a countertop and storage. Now we just have a mess. Progress, folks. That's progress.